Hello, and welcome to today's demo, where we take a look at taking our application and checking for security vulnerabilities. We're going to do this via an overview of the Scribe security platform. So join me as we take my example workload and begin to understand our security posture. I'll see you in just a second. So here I have a Scribe demo repository. And here I have that cloned locally in VS Code. Now, it doesn't matter what's in the project right now. What matters is what can we learn about this project through a good security posture by leveraging a tool such as Scribe. Well, in order to get started, we need to go to GitHub, where we can create a new token. We'll scroll down to developer settings, personal access tokens. So we can click new. I will call this Scribe. And now we can add our permissions. I'm going to add workflow, write packages, admin public key, admin repo hook, user, admin GPG key, and admin signing key. Now this may seem like a lot, but we're just adding enough permissions for Scribe to be able to understand our workflows and see the logs, write packages to our GitHub registry, work with our public keys and repository hooks so it can detect changes within the repository and run scans, understand the user that is calling or using the application, and then our GPG and signing key as well to validate commits against your repository. So we click copy, and then we want to go back to our repository. We click settings, scroll down to secrets, and add this as a GitHub action secret. I'll call this demo GitHub secret. Like so. Next, we go to Scribe security, where we click on settings, go to API tokens, and click create. Now we have a GitHub API token for Scribe. And again, we copy this, go to our repository, and add a secret. I will call this Scribe token and click save. That is all the setup that is needed in order to start understanding our code base and our security posture using Scribe security. So let's click on actions. And the first one we'll click on is build to GCR. We can trigger a workflow now that we have configured our secrets like so. We can also click on the discover agentless pipeline and run that too. So we'll give them a few minutes to run. While they are running, let's go take a look at the workflow code. So here we have the first workflow that we ran, which is the build to GCR. We can see this is going to run on any push to our main branch, and we have our workflow dispatch, which allows us to trigger it manually. We have our product name, Astro Analytics, and a version, which we're just using the GitHub run number for. The jobs in this pipeline. First, configure our access to the GitHub container registry using the secret we provided earlier. Worth noting, you could do this with the embedded workflow permissions, but there are some permissions required for Scribe that cannot be configured that way. Hence, we're using our Bliss token. It then is going to build the image with the tags ghcr.io/rawcode or whatever your GitHub repository owner or username is, followed by Astro Analytics with our build number and the latest tag. It is then going to create an SBOM, a software bill of materials, using the Scribe security action BOM. This uses our Scribe token. We give it a target to scan, which is our container image, providing the product key and version, which is just the name and the build number. We tell it how to build the image, or at least what the base was, so it can scan it, and we can see our Docker file here. This is a very trivial, simple node image where we just copy in a package JSON, the log file, run an npm install, and our server.js. And our server.js is really just a hello world. How bad could our security posture be?
Oh, you poor little lamb. Oblivious to the world.
Opening up the second one, we have our agentless pipeline. If we scroll down, it has a little bit of embedded script action going on here, where it understands the workflow file for building our container image, which is build to GCR. It has the required permissions to query the workflow ID, and just fetches some metadata such as the product version. If we scroll down, it then has a Scribe security action called Action Platforms, where we tell it that the platform is GitHub and it wants to run Discover. If we scroll down again, we run the same action using the bomb command. Now, don't worry about what these are doing. We're going to take a look at the output, which should be very revealing. We then have our verify command. And lastly, we have another evidence command using a Scribe public reusable workflow called Kubernetes demo that will allow us to run Kubescape and understand the security posture within a Kubernetes cluster. I will attach all the links to these different components and reusable actions within the description below, and you can go check them out for yourself. But I think the best way for us to see what they provide and understand again our security posture is to take a look at the results. So here we are on the Scribe security platform page looking at the evidence for the product that we uploaded during the GitHub Actions workflow. You can see right off the bat that we have 12 critical security vulnerabilities, 116 medium, 85 high, and 36 low. So right away, our security posture is not looking too healthy. So if we click on policy violations, we'll see there that we have one violation in effect. If we click on this and look at the policy definition, the rule is we are not allowed any critical or high vulnerabilities within our software. So we need to be able to fix that and address that. If we click on vulnerabilities, we will get a huge list of all of the CVEs discovered within our software and its dependencies. As you can see, this is a large list, and this is just the first page, all 9.8 and above CVSS scores. There are 47 pages of vulnerabilities. And this is mostly just coming from your base image. So you need to be able to understand this and fix this. So if we pop this open on the left, we're able to filter all of the vulnerabilities detected against our image. We can filter this to just show the ones that do have a fix, meaning we can prepare how to update our applications to avoid this whenever possible. We can also filter on the severity, just so we want to fix our continuous delivery pipeline. So saying, look, just show me the critical and high so I can focus on the ones that I need to fix right away. Now, I have gone ahead and updated the image and rebuilt this so we can go back to Astro Analytics and actually view version 10, where we'll see that we have no critical, no high, and no medium, just by updating our base image. We can click on vulnerabilities, and we'll get a very different look at our application. Perfect. If we clear the filters, it will now show us our medium, or it will now show us our low risk vulnerabilities. The next thing I want to take a look at was the agentless pipeline discovery. We can take a look at the discovery by clicking on the discovery product. And clicking on findings. Now, this isn't an analysis of your container image that you built, but rather a look at the deployment mechanism you are using. This deploys it to a Kubernetes cluster, scans your manifest and all of your other settings to tell you if there are things you can do to improve your security posture within the cluster beyond just your base image updates. As you can see here, this is ran Kubescape, an open source security scanning tool for Kubernetes. And it's just giving us some advice that we want to make sure there are CPU and memory limits set for our workload. We may want to block certain ingress and egress traffic, not allow root containers, privileged escalation, and so on. You can work through each of these issues one by one with steps to reproduce, making net positive changes to your security posture in just a few lines of YAML. But to do that, you need to know these things exist. That is where Scribe shines. And the last thing I want to show from the Scribe security dashboard is that because we have all of this information from your log files, your container images, license information, and SBOM material is all available for you to analyze. So depending on the product you're building, the constraints that your organization has, you may need to restrict certain usage of certain licenses within your application. Let's assume we're not happy with a Blue Oak license. We can click Apply and immediately see that we've got 3 different things that we need to remove or deal with in our application. When's the last time you could tell all of the licenses used within your application when you're consuming so much open source? Having a dashboard to filter, slice and dice this information is absolutely crucial. And now is the best time to get started.